welcome to the Golden Hour and the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast and YouTube show. I'm Golden Duffy, your host, and today we're talking about the real you. So if this feels like a conversation that's a little bit confusing, where you're like, I thought I knew who I really was, just hang tight with me because I'm going to get to the bottom of this subject with you and help you to uncover and discover all that you truly are. When I first started meditating, I remember my meditation teacher being like, we've got to get to the center of who you are. And she described it like this, and this was so helpful to me. She drew a picture of a sun, and she said, this is the real you, the bright, shiny you, the you that is happy and fulfilled and shining your light on everyone. And then she drew a whole bunch of clouds over that sun. And she said, this is what covers up the real you. And those clouds are your thoughts, their old stories, their false perceptions, their worries about judgments of others, their judgments of yourself. They're all the things that keep you from being in your joy. They're all the things that kind of have come into your experience through different people, through different situations, through traumas, through different life experiences that have caused you to dim your light so that you're not able to really shine. You're not really able to give the full potential of the being that you truly are. And this comes, the consequences of this comes in many different facets. It comes in the way of financial struggle. It comes in the way of depression. It comes in the way of lack of motivation, procrastination, weight gain, beating yourself up, that shitty committee, that self-critical voice, all the ways that you keep yourself small and keep yourself from really growing into the true being that you are these clouds that cover your sun. And the way that she described meditation was basically that meditation kind of moves these clouds away, and it helps you to get back to your center. It helps you to get back to the core of who you truly are, who you've truly always been, before life kind of gave you circumstances that created belief systems in you that are totally untrue and totally unhelpful as far as living your gifts, as far as living your truth and living the power that you have to create. So today we're going to strip away those clouds. We're going to get to the basis of who you truly are and what you're here for. Why are we here? What is the point of all of this, right? So this is a deeply spiritual discussion. I will throw some science in there, but for the most part, this is a deeply spiritual discussion, and maybe one that's deeper than I've ever gone before. I don't know, I've gone pretty deep before, but this one goes to the heart, to the core of you as a soul walking in this human experience. You are a soul first. The human experience is one that is so valuable and so important. But if you only walk the human experience and you've never really fully connected with the soul level of your experience, you won't get the full scope of what you're exactly here for. You will live in the illusion. We've talked about the illusion before. The illusion basically is that it's ripe and full of victimhood. And it causes you to not get on a trajectory that allows you to fully step in your power. And people do this a lot of different ways. We see it in our world in a lot of ways. Politics, people allow politics to make them powerless. Racism, they allow, the belief of racism to make them powerless. Different relationships, you could feel powerless in different relationships, or different life experiences or circumstances may cause you to feel powerless, or an illness can cause you to feel powerless. There's a lot of different circumstances that could keep you in this illusion that you don't have the power to create, that your thoughts are not that powerful. Also religion's a big one. And I see this, and it's so interesting recently. I realized this. I don't think I shared this last week. Maybe I did. Maybe it bears repeating. But the people who really come at me a lot of the times on my posts, and I don't have this happen very often, it's very, very seldom, and are people that are like really into their Christian religion. And I'm not against Christianity. I'm not against any religion. I just think when a religion tells you that you are powerless and that there is this being that is, um, basically playing puppet with your life, or that you're a lowly sinner and all of that, I just don't think that's where we're supposed. I know that's not where we're supposed to live. I believe in true worthiness. I believe that we are a connection and an expression. We're more than a connection, we're an expression of that infinite potential and power. So we have the same abilities, we have the same gifts, we have the same power. We have the same power. So in shedding all of that victimhood and blame and self-criticalness and self-deprecation, we can step into a new land, a land where we flourish, where we create abundance, where we become all that we are really meant to become on this life experience. Also, to the other levels of understanding that everything that's happening is in its perfection. So as life is coming at you and things are less than optimal, and maybe you feel like you've really been kicked down, maybe the last couple of years you feel like have just been way too hard. And, a lot of the hard stuff that's happening to you is because you're being asked to surrender. You're being asked to heal, and you're being asked to surrender. And through that surrendering, you're going to find your power, because you're going to let go of this facade, this mask. I did a post on Facebook today. So today is January 2nd. Happy New Year. You guys are watching this the following week. Actually, if you're listening on the podcast, it may be up a lot sooner. I tend to put the podcast up right away as soon as I record, because if I don't, a lot of times I forget. So you might actually get this sooner than later. But if you're listening on E360 or on YouTube, you will be listening to this next week, which I don't even know the date. I probably should figure that out. January. Let's just find that date, because I'm going to need to know the answer to that. January 9th. So if you're listening to this on January 9th, Happy New Year. I will be in St. Croix that week. So I wanted to get this done ahead of time and not send you guys through another rerun like I did last week. And this subject came to me in the middle of the night. So I did a post on it today, January 2nd. And I really felt strongly that there are these facades that we walk around in. We walk in this character presentation of who we think people want us to be, or who we feel like we need to be, or what we need to be so that people like us, or so that people love us, or so that people accept us. And we put on these masks. And these masks tell the world, I'm perfect, or, I'm kind and caring beyond, I'll do anything you need me to do, that people pleasing mask. There's so many different masks, right? Like that great mom mask, or that great friend mask, or, the ones that, like, the masks that cause you to tolerate a lot of behavior from people that you probably, you're really disrespecting yourself by doing that. So we're going to take off the masks today and allow ourselves to really shine. Other masks may be the mask of depression, or the mask of drama. Remember the poor me control drama, where we want everybody to feel sorry? That sounds like it might be a little bit cruel. But if you have people in your life that are like that, and they're always trying to get you to feel sorry for them, or they always have these dramas going on, and you always feel like you have to, drop everything for them because they're so sad, or, their lives are so hard. One thing I've realized over time is, when I used to really go above and beyond for people whose lives were kind of a mess and feel like I needed to fix them, a lot of times I would be taking on their burdens. And That is such a crazy thing to do because you didn't create their burdens. They're the ones that have been in this situation that continue to perpetuate things. And I know it's easy to feel sorry for people, but when you feel sorry for people, you don't empower them. When you feel sorry for yourself, you don't empower yourself. So it's about getting out of that low vibrational energy and understanding that this journey is significant, but also extremely challenging. It has extreme challenges woven into the fabric of it to get you to wake up, to get you to heal, to get you to realize things, to invite you to go within and find out what's truly going on for you so that you can stop living cycles that no longer serve you. So, what is it for you? What is it? Look at all your masks. Look at all the ways that you mask yourself from people, or that you don't live your truth, or you continue to tolerate relationships that are not working, or you continue activities that are self-deprecating or keeping you down or keeping you from really thriving in your life, right? The ones that keep you from being really healthy, or the ones that keep you from being um, really clear and really truthful about the life that you want to live, the life that you want to create. Okay, so moving into this shedding of the masks, we first have to see, what the masks are. My husband and I had this whole conversation the other night, and it was so interesting. Him and I can get really deep. First of all, we had an amazing New Year's Eve. It was one of the best I think we've ever had. We went out to dinner to this really, this one of my favorite restaurants. In fact, it was a restaurant I went to for my birthday. And usually, when they have a beautiful view. You can see the ocean and the sunset is amazing. But it's cold out and it's nighttime. So we wanted to sit in the bar. They have this really cool bar area. It's called Mozambique in Laguna. They have great food. They had a prefix menu that was just incredible, really good food. And we got sat and it's so amazing. When we made the reservations, they're like, yeah, we'll put you at the bar if we can. And the dining room I don't really love. It's very open, it's kind of loud, and we just don't really enjoy loudness. And the bar has a couple that sings, usually like a piano player, husband, wife, or brother, sister. So we get there and the girl goes, I'll go check. And she goes into the bar and she brings us into the bar. And we're literally at the end of the bar, at the end of there's tables in the bar. We're not sitting at the bar. There's this table and it's like this round booth and it's overlooking the whole room, which is like lit up with Christmas lights. And there's a fireplace right next door and this guy and girl singing. And it was just perfect. It was like pure perfection. And then afterwards, we went to go see our daughter, who was hired to be a dancer for this DJ at this crazy small restaurant. So we danced for like an hour and a half and then went home, and it was really, really fun. I tell you this because when you align yourself with joy, when you align yourself with fun, when you decide that your life is going to be what you really want it to be, everything works out for you. And then you have this trajectory and momentum of perfection. And I don't ever tell you guys things to brag about my life. I tell you these things because I've chosen this so many times over the years. Yes, there were New Year's Eves we could not afford to go out. Absolutely, there was no money. So we had to create our fun at home. We had to have a romantic dinner with the kids a lot of times, party hats, the whole thing. We've had to do that in the past, but this year, because we have built a momentum of abundance, we are able to go out and have a really great time. So bringing in the new year and that energy and deciding what we want for ourselves is the first step. And it's looking at all the ways that you're keeping yourself small, you're keeping yourself from your true worthiness, and what is really, catapulting that to keep you from living that potential. So we had this conversation at dinner, getting back to what I was saying. And it was all about being a fangirl. So we're sitting there, and I don't know if you know who this is, but you can actually look up his music. He's really great. And I totally knew his music, but I never knew what he looked like. So he was playing upstairs. So they have this upstairs called Ivan's Club. It's a brand new thing that they've made. It's huge bands come and it's like this big party thing. We didn't want to do that. We weren't interested in doing that. We've been to a lot of concerts this year, so we're like a little more low key. But Donovan Frankenreiter walks into the bar, and he is this really tall, really interesting looking person with this huge cowboy hat on. And my husband goes, "That's Donovan Frankenreiter." And I was like, "No way." So I'm like so interested, and I get very fangirly. Like, I know you, if you know me, you know this. The Elevator is my favorite group. I can get a little fangirly with them. And there's a couple of members in that group that I feel very like friends with, and I don't feel that way with. But the lead singer, Jackson, I just always feel this like awe of him because he's so talented. And my husband said, he's just a person just like you. And, when I get in front of these guys, because we've had, meet and greets where we've been able to talk to them and hug them, and we've hung out with them, and it's really fun. When they say things to me, like I always put my posts in their group every day. The one of the drums who I've never met before because he just came on to this tour, said to me, "I love your posts every day." And I get kind of like, oh my gosh, like I get a little like validated and kind of giddy, and it's really silly, right? Fangirl. So my husband said to me, like, these are people just like you. And it kind of discounts your gifts and your talents and what you've done with your life when you're all fangirly and you want to be these guys' friends because they have some sort of fame or they have some sort of major gift. Or so it was a really empowering conversation because he's like, what did you do with your life? How are you using your gifts, and what kind of influence have you had in the world? And it really caused me to kind of step back and go, yeah, you're right. Like I'm worthy of these friendships, and I'm worthy of everything these guys are experiencing at the same level, or, we're equals. We're all equals. So we put these people on these pedestals for whatever we've been told about them or whatever the fame and the fortune is giving them, and we forget about who we are and our true gifts. So that was one of the masks that I wear. It's the fangirl mask where I'm not really shining my light. I'm not really being who I am because I get a little self-conscious. Isn't that crazy? It's so crazy. There's only been very few select people in my life that I felt this way with, where I get a little self-conscious and then my tongue gets a little tied. And it'll be interesting to see what happens the next time I see these guys, because I'm going to work on this year of letting go of that mask and just being really who I am and being really grounded in the knowledge of my true state of being. So how do you get to that true state of being? So meditation, of course, is number one. I always say that. And if you're not meditating, then that's one of the masks that you're wearing, right? I don't need meditation. I don't have time for meditation. Meditation's stupid. I can't meditate. Whatever the mask is that you've put over your ability to connect with your true inner self, right? We've heard it called your soul. We've heard it called your inner being. We've heard it called your inner spirit. All of those things apply to that truest nature of who you are. It's the thing. It's the being that leaves your physical body when you leave this life, right? When you leave your physical body, it's that part of you, right? It's the part of you that you connect with those passed away loved ones that makes you pay attention to a bird and go, that's Poppy, right? Or that's grandma, or whatever it is. It's that part of yourself. So that part of yourself has been masked, it has been pushed down, it has been ignored, you can't disconnect from it. It's always there. It's the part of you, when you hear that intuition, that's your inner being. And your inner being is always working, it's always running underneath. And if you don't take the time to be quiet and really listen, you may not be able to hear it. And you may not be able to feel the connection of it, even though you always are. So that's why meditation is so important. If you can do anything this year, committing to a 20-minute practice, I'm going to put you to a 20-minute practice because it can take 5 or 10 minutes sometimes to get quiet. And the cool thing about it is during that 20 minutes, you're going to have breaks of thought that are going to really benefit you. And then you're going to start to uncover. And then you're going to start to take these masks. And maybe some traumas are going to come up. And maybe you're going to get a little emotional. Maybe you're going to get a lot emotional. Maybe you're going to have some great journaling pages and some great writing prompts that are going to help you to heal. This is a really important part of your journey, because if you're running around all the time and you're not paying attention to this stuff, you're not getting the most out of the journey. You're not getting the soul side of it. The human side is so important. That's why, like, there's so many things that I do that just keep me in my humanness, because I know that it's valuable to be a human and to express as a human, but I also really value the time of being a soul, of being in my inner space. In fact, when you have negative emotion, what negative emotion is, it's that you have a thought, right? So all thought, here's your science. All thought is vibration. Hang on one second. Still got this little tickle going on. So all thought is vibration. And as you pay attention to that vibration and that vibration gains a little bit of momentum, then it becomes a thought, right? And then that thought starts to evoke a feeling. So those thoughts that you are having are pretty neutral, right? It's not until you apply feeling to them that they become the energy in motion. So as you have a thought, let's say you have a thought about, let me just think about something like, let's say you have a thought about your physical body, right? So you have a thought about your physical body. It's the new year. Everybody's going to the gym, although I didn't see a lot of people at the gym this morning. I thought it was kind of interesting. Not at 5. At 6, it was a little crazy, but at 5, I was like, okay, so I guess people aren't going to do those resolutions until Monday, because a lot of people are still off, which I'm fine with. I love an empty gym. But it's your resolution time. You're like, okay, I'm going to get, hopefully you listen to my show from last week, which is about setting intentions versus resolutions, which intentions are actions behind the energy that you intend for the year, and they're specific. They're not just like, I'm going to get healthy and fit. So hopefully you put it down on paper and you said, I am interested in losing 20 pounds this year, or whatever it is, or I'm gaining 10 pounds of muscle, or I'm, working on my cardiovascular health, whatever it is. So you think about your physical body and you're not where you want it to be, right? So you have a thought about your physical body and you think, damn, I can't believe I let myself go. I can't believe that I have 40 pounds or 50 pounds to lose. I can't believe I did this to myself. That thought then starts to evoke the emotion of being disappointed, disgruntled, resentful towards yourself, foreboding, regretful, all of those negative emotions. Your inner being inside of you is not thinking that way. Your inner being is thinking, oh, good. Now they're paying attention. She or he is now paying attention to the physical body and is going to get and wants to get fit, to feel good, wants to lose this heavy weight and dense energy so they can feel lighter. He or she can feel lighter, and he or she can start to connect with the best feeling parts of themselves, right, in the physical realm, which will help to connect with the inner being part, right? When you feel better, when you feel lighter, when you're acting healthy, when you're not beating yourself up, you have a much easier time to connect to that real, true inner being spirit, who you really are, the truth, right? You are not this overweight, obese person. That is not who you are. That's what you've done to suppress who you are. That's another mask that you've put on, right? 5, the 10, the 20, the 40 pounds, whatever it is. So in order to get back to that light being that you are, the lightness, the health, the vitality, the truth, you have to get out of that identity, especially of beating yourself up. So that's where the inner being comes to play when you have these major negative emotions. Anytime you have a negative emotion, it's worth paying attention to, because it means that you are not thinking about this the way your inner being is thinking about it. So the best thing you can do is journal that crap out, right? They call it dumping. Dump it out. tired, sick and tired of this, don't want to live like this anymore, whatever it is, and then get quiet. If you dump before you meditate on a piece of paper, your meditation is probably going to be a lot clearer. So dumping is a great way to just get all those thoughts and all that yuckiness out, and then you're going to sit in a pretty clear space. The other thing you can do is breathe deeply, hold your breath for like 11 to 15 seconds or 30 seconds, let it out. That will also help clear the pathways. Coming into this state and then asking yourself, how does my inner being really feel about this? How do I feel about this to my core true essence, which is love? Your core essence is love. So when people say, oh, you've got to figure out the self-love thing, you don't have to figure anything out. You've got to come back to it. You got to shed all these things that shadow it and get back to the true essence, which is love. So anytime you feel unlovable, you're people pleasing to try to get people to love you, anytime you're in that kind of relationship with yourself, you are separating yourself from the truth, which is love, baby. It is love to its truest, corest sense. That's who you are. Whole, healed, amazing, beautiful, incredible, fantastic, infinite intelligence. That's who you are at your core. So getting to that it's life-changing. It's life-altering, because then you start to wake up to the soul's purpose in getting out of this illusion. So many people look at purpose and they think, how am I affecting the world? What can I do in the world? How can I make this world better? How can I become famous? There's a lot of that stuff. Although a lot of you have a fear of being seen. I know that for sure. I definitely went through that myself. It took a lot for me to come on this camera and start doing this. And now it's pretty easy, but there was that fear of being seen. Even doing a video and putting a reel up was something that I just started in this last year that I was forced to do because of the TV show. But there was this fear of being seen, this fear of screwing up, this fear of not saying something right or not making it perfect. That's why people, when they start podcasts, they want to do all this editing. And they spend hours, and I'm in these podcast groups and I'm just like, what a waste of time. They spend hours putting out these productions of perfection, and I'm just raw and real, and I'm just going to be authentic, because I don't think this level of production of perfection, I love that, production of perfection, I don't think it really helps people. It doesn't show people what's possible. It doesn't show people the real you when you're clearing your throat and coughing and doing what a human being does, right? We want to be relatable. We want to be real. We want to be ourselves. So that part of it, shedding that, getting rid of that fear of being seen, might mean taking some chances. It might mean starting a YouTube channel. It might mean starting a podcast. It might mean writing a book. Y'all know my really successful formula for writing a book is 3 pages a day. That's it. And I am not doing it right now. I will be totally honest with you. I have an amazing book in my computer that I'm working on. I actually have 3 of them, but one that I'm really, really excited about right now. It is actually a fiction love story that I think I'm on like page 65, completely put it to the side to focus on other things with my husband and his business. And it's all good, right? There's no rush. I'm going to finish that book. I have no doubt about it. And it's cool because like after the first of the year, we have this big vacation coming up, and then we get back and it's like pure focus. And I'm excited about that. And I know that the book will be part of that. In order to be successful in writing, I need to get up at like 5 in the morning. So that means earlier bedtime. That means no alcohol. That means really getting super disciplined and determined. And we're not meant to be that way all the time. I am a super disciplined person, but you're just not. There's times, especially holidays, winter, things like that. it's okay to take your foot off the gas sometimes. It's okay to relax sometimes. That's where you get into the allowing and receiving. And that's what meditation is. It is receiving mode to the messages of your soul, receiving mode to the messages of infinite intelligence. It's where you come together with that higher state of consciousness, right? So getting in receiving mode sometimes is letting some things go and just letting yourself be for a little while. I haven't really produced any kind of like business stuff in a really long time. In fact, I was considering, and if you're interested in this, please message me. I was considering doing the abundance challenge in the beginning of the year, maybe February 1st, starting this abundance challenge. I have to see how my schedule is because we're doing a lot of up leveling with my husband's business and I'm getting super involved. So if I can, it's really easy for me to run a challenge like that. I will do that. So if you're interested, let me know. It'll be 40, $50, something like that, just to have the exchange of value. But the abundance challenge is so cool because it's a daily thing that you have to do. And it really makes you rise up to gratitude and appreciation and puts you in the vibration of abundance. So more about that. I'll have more on that next week or 2 weeks from now to let you know if I'm actually going to go ahead with that. I had that thought today and I always need to meditate on something to make sure that it's right. And I'm not just having these, ideas. That one of the things, like when I run a challenge, it's really important to me is engagement. And I felt like I ran the abundance challenge, I think twice. And the last time I ran it, I just felt like I didn't have enough engagement. Like I didn't feel like people were really true to it. But I may need to be a little stricter because if they don't do the challenge one day, they're out of the challenge. That's how the challenge works. So maybe I just need to be stricter to get the right people in there. But I actually kind of starting to get excited about that. So it definitely may happen in the next month or so. Okay. So getting back to the real, true you, to the core of who you are. So meditation is the first part of that. The second part of that is looking at your wounds, looking at the things, the belief systems that are false. So this is anything that is detrimental to your gifts or to your true calling. So it could be anything that really keeps you down and low. Like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I suck. I'm hard to love. All of the things, those little things that the shitty committee just brings to you. I'm a terrible artist. I'm not good at math. All the things that you tell yourself that keep you from channeling into those true gifts, or even being kind of good at math. That's one of the ones that I've had, and I'm going to clean that up. Or I had for the longest time, I'm not good at details, and I'm really working on that. My husband's helping me because it can be a problem. It can be a problem when you miss details. It can be a problem. So getting good at details means slowing down, being very focused, looking, checking, rechecking, right? That's the detail thing. And it's funny because I'm a Virgo, and Virgos usually classically are very good at details. So it's very interesting. I just I don't really totally buy into our street signs sometimes because we have consciousness and we can grow beyond whenever we were born. And I think that that's helpful because you're not giving your power away. Okay. So getting back to who you really are. So it's meditating, it's journaling, it's looking at those masks, looking at those false beliefs, and then looking at the ways that you dim your light or hide or shrink or try to be wallflower, or don't step up and speak your truth when you've got this like voice and you want to, and it doesn't come out. Where is that in you? Where is that lack of self-confidence or that lack of self-esteem? And where did it come from? It's not totally important to revisit the past, but it is kind of important to dismantle these things to understand where they came from. Like if you know that you had an art teacher who told you were terrible at art, you could look at that person and you could say, they didn't really know me. I wasn't good at art because that they weren't a good teacher, because I wasn't empowered because I didn't have the confidence, because I got anxious or upset or confused, right? A lot of when we can't channel wisdom, when we block the wisdom that wants to channel through, a lot of that has to do with anxiety that comes on the heels of being a less than confident being, like in our self-consciousness, right? Self-consciousness is a direct break from your inner being. Self-consciousness is when you get really in your head, really in your wounds, really in your, confusion, and it doesn't allow you to really hear what the inner being has to say, which is you are all powerful, you are infinite, you are incredible, you are worthy, you are enough, right? That's what the inner being says. So connecting with that on a daily basis is so super important. And maybe even doing a journal prompt. This is a really good idea, and I may do this myself. If you're looking for a journal, this Mindful Manifestations Daily Guide and Journal is awesome. Lots of journaling pages in there, lots of writing prompts. But one writing prompt that might be really good for you to do is, what does my soul want me to know? What does my inner being want me to hear? What does my inner being think about this? If you're working on some stuff and you've got some challenges, what does my inner being think about that? What you're going to do when you ask that question is just write out whatever comes and start leaning into that. That's going to help you to up level your ability to hear your intuition. I wonder what my inner being thinks about that. You start to get into a low level vibration with yourself. You start to get a little self-critical. You stop. I don't have to think like that. I don't have to think about that. Guys, you have all these neural pathways that are just addictive, ripe and ready with drama and fear and all of that stuff that keeps you low, that keeps you down, that keeps you from being who you really are. So you've got to put a stop to it. You got to have a saying, something that says, no more. I've had enough of that. What does my inner being think about it? And reach higher. Reach higher. When you reach higher, you're going to get higher wisdom. You're going to connect with that wisdom that says, you can do this. You got this. It's going to help you step up. It's going to help you step in. It's going to help you get out of bed. Whatever you need, it's going to help you. It's going to help you to get out of your situation, that low level of poverty or struggle or fear, whatever it is that's driving you to not really live in your gifts and your truth. And your truth is, abundance is your birthright. It's your birthright. You were not meant here to be here to struggle. And money is an illusion. And there's plenty of it. There's plenty of it to go around. There's plenty energy to go around. So if you look at it as an energy in, energy out, being respectful of it, loving it, allowing more of it, receiving more of it, sharing it, the whole thing, it's just an energy, right? So you are abundance at your core. Your birthright is abundance, and your ability to be loved and supported and prosper is a guarantee once you start to shed the illusion. The illusion is what really blocks your ability to be in this flow, right? To know who you are, to be on fire with life. That's what I want for all of you, to be on fire. There's so many days that I wake up and I just feel like, yes, another day to create. And then sometimes, I'm really going to share here. Sometimes on my way to bed, I'm walking up the stairs, I'm going to bed. And when I go to bed, I'm tired. Up at 4:17, I go to bed right around 9. I'm walking up the stairs and I think, I did it. I did another day. I got it. I got through it. Yeah, I feel like that's so soulful to think that, to not think, oh, I wasted a day, or, oh gosh, time's going too fast, or I can't wait to go to sleep because I can't wait to wake up. And I can't wait to rest because I know as I'm resting, I'm in receiving mode. I'm putting myself in higher states of consciousness, and I know I'm going to get to wake up. I hope, right? Right? We hope. We never know. Get up and create another day. So that's something new that I've just been experiencing, where I'm like, ooh, check this day off. I did it again. I got through another day. Go me. And I feel proud of it. I feel proud of it because this isn't easy, right? It's not easy. And I've got a pretty amazing life, but it's a challenge. The people we deal with, the bills, the work, the hard thing. We just had a meeting the other day with my husband's team for his company, and this is something brand new we're doing. We're getting into this business in a whole different way, and we're going to really up level this year. So we're meeting with his guys to explain what we need to do to get to the next level. And it really affects them, in some ways could be looked at, may affect them in a detrimental way in the beginning. And then we're going to blow it up and everybody's going to really benefit. But we need them to trust us and we need them to get on board. And it was awkward and it was a tough conversation. And it was conversations that is hard for everybody, but connecting and resonating with one another and showing each other how supportive you can be was really another level in our relationships with them. So it's not always going to be easy. The conversations we have are not always going to be easy. The experiences we have are not always going to be easy. There's going to be times you go through that are so hard, and you're going to come out of those times and you're going to be like, what in the world was that about? It was about your soul's growth, your soul's expansion. And I have this awesome book here. This would be a great book for you to read into 2025, The Perfect Unfolding for the Expansion of Your Soul. There's messages in here that your soul really benefits from. So, and it's some messages that came through my dreams. So these are available on Amazon. Okay, so let's get into a little release session, a little intention setting, let's get to the core. Let me just think if there's anything else that I need to say as far as, we'll do it after. Okay. All right. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And if you need to, kind of hold it at the top and hold it and really let your lungs kind of expand. And then when you release it, let your lungs expand all the way. So really blow all the air out of your lungs. This also is a reset for your nervous system. So breathing in, really, 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 really deep, expanding the lungs and holding, and releasing and just letting all the tension in your muscles, in your mind, in your throat, in your heart, in your abdomen, in your lower back, just let all of that tension go. Okay. And one more time, we're breathing in very deeply. Holding at the top and releasing. And coming into this beautiful space together, we ask for the full connection of our soul's true purpose. The fullest connection to who we are in this moment, right here, right now. So we're asking that all the masks are shed. So I want you for a moment to consider what might be dimming your light or covering your true self. And I want you to release that. So releasing the people-pleasing, the jealousy, the depression, the anger, the regret, the heavy energy, the heavy weight. Releasing the fears and the doubts, the low self-confidence, the low self-esteem. Releasing all those things that cause you to not feel good enough or unworthy or self-conscious. Releasing the fangirl, releasing the disempowerment, releasing all those ways that you keep yourself from that sunshine. So we just ask, maybe you see it as clouds, these clouds moving away, clearing, cleansing, and allowing you to really shine. So seeing that bright, shiny light within you, maybe coming from your heart, or seeing that bright, shiny light in your third eye, or in your abdomen, or your power center, in allowing you to really connect with your truth, your light, the core of who you are, the blessing that you are, and the blessing that you get to experience being here as a human in the soul's perspective. Asking for a deeper connection to your soul, to your inner being, to your truth. Allowing this light to come out all the way around you. Ooh, feeling that light just permeating all of your cells, your DNA, your neural pathways, your throat, your heart, your power center, your sacral, your root, just feeling this light, just feeling light. Yeah, just releasing any more heaviness. Releasing your perspective on life if it feels heavy. Releasing the struggle. Releasing the lack. And releasing the belief that things are not in their perfection as they stand. Releasing the production of looking perfect and allowing yourself to be your core, be your true self. No longer tolerating those less than optimal relationships or circumstances that cause you to suffer, that cause you to beat yourself up. So letting go of those activities that keep you small and instead building on new activities that will allow you to live your gifts. Maybe starting that YouTube channel, starting that podcast, writing that book, painting that beautiful picture, stepping into that new career, becoming that perfect mate. And perfection, I don't mean perfect, I mean aligned. Our alignment is perfection. So when we align with our true being, we feel joy, we feel elation, we feel creative, we feel giddy, we feel strong, we feel powerful, we feel worthy, we feel our truth, and we feel our connection to infinite intelligence like never before. We activate the channel, activating that channel all the way from your root, all the way up through the center of your body, all the way out and up into the ethers, connecting with that higher flow of consciousness and the realm that goes beyond this physical experience. Allowing you to stand in a new place, in a new time, in a new becoming, where you get to be this year, this month, this day, this minute, this hour, all that you came here to be, all that that heart has been calling you to, allowing you to connect the dots, to put those puzzle pieces together, to really lock in a grid that allows you to understand, have compassion, speak your truth, to fill up your energy field with this higher state of consciousness instead of working to get it from others, allowing you to be energetically sound. Ooh, that feels good. Energetically activated, living the truth beyond anything you've known before, and releasing yourself from an illusion that no longer serves you. Knowing that this life is one to be celebrated, to be ecstatic about, to be thrilled with, and to go after the experiences that go beyond the mind and instead facilitate the soul's journey into greatness. So just let that further elevate you, bring you into knowing the state of consciousness. So clear, so true, so transparent, so beautiful, so worthy, so strong, and so powerful. Coming back to this space together, hopefully feeling fantastic and lighter and truthful, and taking this journey, taking this show, taking the information that has been shared with you to the next level. And that means either now or tomorrow morning when you wake up, it's deciding how that day will go by sitting and listening and connecting and maybe writing and channeling what your truth is. Because you weren't put here to be small. You weren't put here to live your life less than. You weren't even put here to serve. I mean, I know that may feel like a disconnect from everything you've ever learned. But the truth is, when you are full, when you are whole, when you know who you are, service becomes something that's just an overflow. It's just an overflow. So it doesn't take you out. It doesn't drain you. It doesn't exhaust you. It's just who you are. It's that sunshine, that light that you just automatically share with others because nothing is dimming it. So, service is amazing and it's beautiful, but if it comes from a lackful place, it will always tire you. It will always exhaust you, and it will always cause you to ignore what your powerful position is in this life experience. It's part of the illusion to forget yourself and just to serve others. It's part of the illusion. It happens organically when you know who you are, when you stand in your truth, when you stand in your power, and when sometimes you need to pull away from all that serving and all that giving and all that people pleasing. Not sometimes. You do. You have to pull away from it to really begin to align with that truer sense of self so that you can start living this empowered trajectory, and you can start living this life that serves you and serves others at the same time. But there may be a little gap where you're not serving so much. You're filling yourself back up so that when you present to the world, you're presenting from a place that is an overabundance of who you are and not a lack. So look at all those ways that you feel like you've lacked in the past, or something's lacking in your experience. There is nothing lacking in your experience. If you're looking to manifest something, it's already done. Now the work is aligning with it. What does a person like that have to be? How do they have to feel? How do they have to act? What do they have to do? What are the actions they need to put into place to really live that? Many of us don't know what that is. We'll look at people that are extremely wealthy and look like they have everything, and we'll go, I want that. But we don't know what it really takes to get that. And we don't know what kind of sacrifices to our spiritual life that it may take to get that. The idea of like winning the lottery and all of my problems will be over. It's more of a distraction, really. So if you really want to get to know who you are, it's going within. It's not looking at the world and what you are going without, going within. And it's saying, what do I have inside of me? What do I really have to offer myself and others, but yourself first? And then living those gifts, really living from your true potential, letting go of the facades, the masks, the false beliefs, because you are truly an infinite being. And that inner soul, that inner being that wants you to know that, is elated that you watched this show, that you took in these messages, that you took the time to meditate on this. And every morning you get up and you choose that quiet time, you are choosing to connect with your soul. You are choosing to connect with the biggest, most important part of yourself. And in that, you will always win. You will always win. It's such a fun ride. It's such a good journey. So that is the show for today. Thank you so much for being here. This was one that was really fun for me. I love getting really spiritual and deep because that's the truth. spent a lot of time being sciencey and denying this part of myself. So it's always good to get on a show and just rip out the real me and let you guys know what I'm really experiencing and come on this journey with me. This next year promises to be great. There's really good feelings around this year. And if you can't feel it, trust me. Just trust me, believe me, feel lighter about it, feel good about it, because that's where you're going to get to the good stuff. All right, you guys, I love y'all. Peace.